right, so the new unit, algebra, is we're going to be talking about solving inequalities. So today's going to be an intro day. I just want to get you guys immersed into when do we use inequalities in our everyday life. So a little bit of a grammar lesson today. We've got a prefix in, and we have the word equality. So if I could just start with the easy part, let's talk about equality. So equality is the state of being equal. Okay, let me just write that down. The state of being equal. Or what is it? I use the word equal in the word equality. Well, what does it mean to be equal? Well, in math, in real life you would say the same amount. So in math you would say that the left and the right have the same value. Okay? So, the left, in essence, equals the right. Okay? Now, I always found this very, very confusing because when I think of the prefix in, I think of inside, like interior, or inside, or, something that's within the surroundings. But oddly enough, there are some words where the prefix in means not. So if I break this down, if equality means that the left is equal to the right, or the state of being equal, and the prefix in this case means not, then an inequality is a mathematical statement where the left does not equal the right. So do all these problems just say, oh, it's just not equal to each other? No, we're going to explore which one's bigger and which one's smaller. So just to give you a representation, I just came up with 5 words where the word in is used as a prefix, meaning not. So if I take the word incomplete, if an assignment is complete, that means that you have written the work or typed the work and submitted it to me. If you have not written all the work, it is incomplete. If you have written the work and it has not been turned in, it is still considered not complete. If it is inaccurate, if accurate means correct and with sound judgment, inaccurate means that it is not correct, it is not accurate. Insufficient. The word sufficient means having enough. We have sufficient food in the house. If we have an insufficient amount of, Kool-Aid. If we have an insufficient amount of Kool-Aid in the water, it's going to taste really diluted. It's going to taste not so sweet. So insufficient. I don't have enough sugar in my Kool-Aid. Incorrect. Not correct. Inconsistent. Well, consistent means this pretty much the same throughout the course of events. Whereas if I'm using a calm voice, and then I'm gonna yell, my tone has been inconsistent. So not the same as the other sentences. Quiet, yell, quiet, yell, inconsistent. Okay, but I just wanted to give you a little grammar introduction. So we're talking about inequalities. In other words, we're doing math where the left does not necessarily equal the right. So just to give you guys a preview, I take 2 numbers, 8 and 5. So I'm going to show you the mathematical way, the algebraic way of approaching this, and the visual way of approaching this. So if I look at my number line, the left side is the left side involves negative numbers. The right side of 0 involves positive numbers. I'm going to put 5 around here and 8 around here. It doesn't have to be to scale. But which one is the bigger number, 5 or 8? 8. 8 is further to the right on the number line. So therefore, we would say 8 is greater than 5. Number 2, 7 and 13. So these are both positive numbers. I'm going to put 7 right around over here. And I'm going to put 13, again, it's not necessarily drawn to scale, over here. So if we've got 7 over here and 13 over here, which one is the bigger number? 13. So in this statement, if the statement starts with 7 on the left and 13 on the right, and 13 is bigger than 7, then we say 7 is less than 13. This is the symbol for less than. Okay? 20 and negative 3. So if I have my little number line, and I've got two numbers, positive 20 and negative 3, well, let's put negative 3 to the left of 0, and let's put positive 20 to the right of 0, not necessarily drawn to scale. Which number is bigger? Having $20 or owing somebody $3? Yeah, I'd rather have $20 in my pocket than have no money in my wallet and owe somebody $3. So in this case, 20 is greater than negative 3. Okay. Negative 8 and 17. Well, negative 8 is on the left side of 0. 17 is on the right side of 0. So which number is bigger? Owing somebody $8 or having $17 in your pocket? We would say that negative 8 is less than positive 17. Okay? Let's do 4 more and then we'll call it a day. So in this case, we've got 0. 0 is one of the endpoints. 0 and negative 6. Well, remember that we've got negative 6 just to the left of 0. So, this is kind of a weird concept. Would you rather have no money in your pocket, or would you rather have no money in your pocket and owe somebody $6? Even though you still have no money, I would rather not owe anybody any money. So 0 is technically a greater value than negative 6. So 0 is greater than negative 6. This is the real dilemma. So we've got negative 2 and negative 5. Negative 2, negative 5. Which one is bigger, negative 2 or negative 5? Negative 2 is technically greater than negative 5 because even though you both have a negative amount of money, in other words, you still owe somebody money, I would rather owe somebody $2 than owe somebody $5. So technically, negative 2 is greater than negative 5. Negative 12, negative 1. So negative 1 is just to the left of 0. And I'm going to put negative 12 over here. Which value is bigger, negative 1 or negative 12? Be careful, since negative 12 is, since the 12 is bigger than 1, we're not in the positive world. Remember that negative 12 means it's smaller than negative 1. I would rather owe somebody $1, than owe somebody $12. So technically, negative 12 is less than negative 1. And finally, negative 100 and 0. So negative 100 is way to the left of 0. Which number is bigger, negative 100 or 0? 0 is bigger than negative 100, but if the problem starts out with negative 100 on the left, negative 100 is less than 0. All right, so I'm gonna do a diagram. So I just drew it sideways so I'd have more space. You don't necessarily need to do it sideways. So these are the 4 symbols that we're going to play with. We've already been familiar with these two, so I'm going to put my fingers right here. But I'm a little bit confused about these two. So let's start with this. This symbol, no ifs, ands, or buts about it, we call this the greater than symbol. So if you have a left and a right value, and the symbol looks like this means greater than. Okay? And if you have this symbol, little hint, I know everybody tells you in junior high, which way does the alligator want to eat? The alligator wants to eat more. I like to look at it like the less than symbol looks like an L. So if I turn it, can you see that symbol kind of looks like an L? So I always say greater than, less than. Okay? And also I'm using my left hand to make this symbol. So greater than, less than. So that's my little tip. I don't want to confuse you guys, but that's just the way I remembered it. So this is the less than symbol. Okay, so that's pretty simple, but then there's a line underneath, and that always confused me. Well, this is the greater than or equal to number value. So this means greater than or equal to. Okay, and therefore this symbol, it has a less than symbol on top and a line underneath. So this is considered the less than or equal to symbol. So I used to have a teacher who called this greater than and equal to, less than and equal to. And maybe that's just that was just confusing to me, but I'm pretty sure a number can't be greater than and equal to another number at the exact same time. I can't have the right amount of sugar in the Kool-Aid and more than enough, or vice versa. So the key word is or. So I know what you're thinking. Well, when would I ever use these for descriptions? So let's just think about greater than. You know, a lot of people know the real life applications. We're talking about more than, let's say older than, I would say faster than, older than, and so on and so forth, having a greater value than. But then you have stuff like exceeds. So when you say, when I tell you, you've exceeded my expectations, which means here's how much I wanted out of you. You went above and beyond. So let's say exceeds or above. Okay, you get the idea. Whereas a lot of people get confused, what's the difference between greater than and greater than or equal to? Well, the key word is, or the key is the or equal to part. And what comes to mind for this is the word at least. I hear the words at least on a daily basis. So if you're ever seeing more than, it means you have the endpoint, you go higher than the endpoint. Whereas at least, it means that the endpoint is included. Okay, at least. No less than. At minimum. Okay, I want at minimum a 90% for you on this test. In other words, you can get a 90, you can get a 91, and so on and so forth, but I want at minimum a 90% from all of you. Okay. Less than. So less than, whenever you hear about less than in real life, I'm thinking fewer than. Okay. Smaller than. Let's see. Younger than, and so on and so forth. Okay. Under. Again. All right, this is not like I'm not looking for specific words. I'm just showing you when would you ever encounter these values in your everyday life. Less than or equal to. So if you're seeing at least implies greater than or equal to, When would you ever see less than or equal to? I always see at most. So if you see fewer than or less than versus at most, big difference. So no less than, so no more than means less than or equal to. And instead of at minimum meaning greater than or equal to, that means at maximum. Okay, so just to give you an idea, I just drew this diagram. I turned it sideways. You didn't have to. If your handwriting's smaller than me, you didn't have to draw this sideways. Okay? So let's get down to real life examples. Okay? You didn't need this much space, but I write big. So when I think of inequalities, I think of roller coasters. That's just what goes to mind for me because it hurt me as a young child to be short. And I'm just kidding. You don't want to hear about my problems. It all started with my childhood. So in other words, this sign used to terrify me as a young kid because my older brother was one of the tallest kids in his class. So I think he was the tallest kid in his 8th grade class, whereas I was one of the shorter kids in my 8th grade class. So let's just say I remember it was my friend Bill's birthday party. We went to this park in Santa Clara called Great America. And back then it was called Paramount's Great America. I think Paramount Pictures lost the rights to Great America. So the point is, one of my favorite memories as a child was going on this roller coaster called Top Gun because Paramount owned the license. It based the movie Top Gun on a roller coaster, airplanes and all that fun stuff. Now it's called Flight Deck. But anyway, so this sign used to terrify me because I can't remember if it was 5th grade or 6th grade, but I finally grew to 53 inches. Okay? So a height minimum roller coaster. So you must be at least 54 inches tall to ride this roller coaster. So go back to your table. What symbol do I see when I hear the words at least? Greater than or equal to. So my height needs to be at least 54 inches tall. So I'm going to make a little note to myself. So at least, that means greater than or equal to. So when I was in I think it was the summer between 5th and 6th grade, I wanted to ride Top Gun so bad, and I was 53 inches tall. But luckily, I had a pair of Nike shoes that made me an inch taller. I kid you not. I had a season pass, and I went to Great America the weekend before with my family, and I put on my Nike shoes, and I was an inch taller, and I rode Top Gun for the very first time. So when I was 53 inches tall, I rode with an inch higher in my shoes, and I got to ride Top Gun for the first time. The next weekend, I forgot to wear my Nike shoes. I wore my cheap Adidas shoes, and I was flat. The heels didn't give me any height, so I just barely missed the cutoff. But let's just think about this. At least. So let's just be honest. So this sign means if I put my back against this sign, that means that I can be 55 inches, 56 inches, 57 inches. I could be 72 inches tall, which is 6 feet tall. But the point is, I have to be higher. I have to be in this green area to ride this roller coaster when I put my back against the sign. But this black line, if the word is at least, can the top of my head reach this black line? Yes. If my head reaches this black line, I can ride the roller coaster. So again, you can use X if you'd like. So in other words, I'm going to pick H. So what does this mean? It means that my height needs to be greater than or equal to 54 inches for me to ride this roller coaster. So if H is 54, 54 is greater than or equal to 54? Yes, 54 is equal to 54. So I'm technically on this black line, which allows me to board this roller coaster. I can be 55 inches, 56 inches, and I am proud to say that I am 68 inches tall, which is 5'8". Okay, so my dreams came true that day when I wore my Nike shoes. Okay, now look at the other one, the other kind of roller coaster, a height maximum ride. So you have a little kiddie ride in the amusement park. What comes to mind is Disneyland's Dumbo ride. So they don't want 5'8" grown adults like me going, "This is the best roller coaster ever. You gotta get on this. This is awesome." No, they want this for little kids. Obviously, they designed the roller coaster so that people taller than this can ride it. But the idea is, if you have a child with you, they need to be taller than 48 inches to ride with an adult. But let's just phrase it as you, the teenager, or the grown adult. You must be at most 48 inches tall to ride Dumbo by yourself. No child, just you. So if you're not with your son or daughter or niece or nephew, and you're taller than 48 inches, you cannot ride the roller coaster, but you cannot ride Dumbo by yourself. So what does at most mean? At most, go back to your table. Where do I see at most? Less than or equal to. So if I want to ride Dumbo, I need to be at most, which means less than or equal to. So less than or equal to 48 inches tall. So my height, I'm going to call it the letter H, must be less than or equal to 48 inches. Now, if my back is against the wall, 48 inches is 4 feet tall, by the way. If my back is against the wall and my head hits that black line, doesn't go higher than the black line, but it hits that black line, can I ride Dumbo? Yes. If I'm 47 inches, I can ride Dumbo. If I'm 46 inches tall, and so on and so forth. But if I am 49 inches tall, I cannot ride Dumbo by myself. I must have my niece, my nephew, my son, my daughter to ride Dumbo with, because the goal is for the little kids to ride it. Okay, now I'm just going to put a whole bunch of real life examples. All right, the driver's permit. Okay, so some people might have told you that before you get a driver's license, you must obtain a driver's permit, in which you're able to drive a car, but you must be in the company. Don't quote me on this, but you need to be with somebody 25 years or older with a driver's license. You must be in the car with. You cannot. In other words, you cannot drive the car by yourself. Okay, so a lot of people say in order to get a driver's license, you need to be 15 and a half years old. No, that doesn't mean that you're 15 years and 6 months. It just means you need to be older than 15 years old. Okay, so you must be older than 15 years of age to get a driver's permit. So let's use the real life context. What descriptive words am I reading? Older than. So older than, did I hear older than or equal to or at least? No. So older than 15 years of age means greater than. Okay? So you must be older than 15 years of age to get a driver's permit, which means if it's your 15th birthday, happy birthday, you can't get a driver's permit. But no, seriously. So let's just say age. Let's say A is your age. 15 is the year minimum, but in terms of minimum, it can't actually be that endpoint. So A must be greater than 15. So if you are 15 years and 1 month, you can get a driver's permit. If you're 15 years and 2 months, you can get a driver's permit. If you're 15 years and 3 days, you can get a driver's permit. But you can't get a permit on your 15th birthday. Okay? My childhood memories, riding SF Muni. You must be under 5 years of age to ride the bus for free. So, there's a little sign that says this is the ages 0 through 4. You can ride for free. One was it 5 through 17? You get the youth fare. 18 over 18 until 65. Was it 18 to 55 is the adult fare, and then older than 55 is the senior fare. But yeah, so in other words, if you're under age 5, you can ride the bus for free. So under, what does that mean? It means less than. So if you're under the age of 5, you could be 4 years old, 3 years old, 2 years old, 1 year old, 6 months, 3 months. 3-month-old going, I need to get to downtown San Francisco. No, I take it you're probably with an adult. But let's just say you're 4 years and 11 months old. You can ride the bus for free. 4 years, 11 months, and 29 days. You're technically allowed to ride the bus for free. But the moment, happy birthday, happy 5th birthday, now you got to pay money to ride the bus. So the age is under 5 years old. So age is less than 5. Okay? Number 5. Here we go. This is a little bit of a gray area, but I'm going to talk about you. You by yourself, you go to the movie theater. You must be at least 17 years you must be at least 17 years old to purchase a movie ticket for an R-rated film. So this is just you by yourself. Not with a group of friends, not with your mom or dad. There's a little bit of a gray area. So let's just say you go by yourself to the movie theater. In order to see the next R-rated horror film, you must be at least 17 years of age. So if I go back to my table, what does at least tell me? At least tells me greater than or equal to. So I'm talking about age. By myself, I'm going to the movie theater by myself. At least means greater than or equal to the age of 17. So by yourself, if you want to celebrate your 17th birthday by going to see a horror film, be my guest. Happy birthday, enjoy yourself. But if you're 16 years and 364 days old, too bad. You can't go see the R-rated movie by yourself. Okay? Water boils when it is at least 32 degrees Fahrenheit. We're talking about temperature, so I'm going to say T. Water boils when it is at least 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So I pay attention to this description. At least. What does at least mean? Greater than or equal to. So if my temperature is greater than or equal to the endpoint. Hold on. I messed up on this. Sorry, water. Sorry about that. Sorry, 212. I apologize. That's a typo. I meant to put it on the other one. So water boils when it is at least 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I apologize. So that means that once the water in the pot reaches 212 degrees Fahrenheit, you're going to see some bubbles. (213 degrees), you're going to see some bubbles. 300 degrees, oh, that's hot. Anyway, but 211 degrees Fahrenheit, you're not going to see some bubbles. Now, this is what I meant to put. Now, water can stay frozen when the temperature reaches no more than 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, remember, higher temperatures are hotter and cooler temperatures are lower. So if I pay attention to the temperature, No more than. Go back to my table. Where do I see no more than? That means less than or equal to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's just say I use the letter T for temperature. And no more than means less than or equal to. So the temperature must be less than or equal to 32 degrees Fahrenheit for the water to stay frozen. Obviously, the cooler it is, the harder the ice will be, and it's harder to melt. I just had to throw in a sports analogy right there, just because I was struggling for examples of faster than. Anyway, so Madison Bumgarner, former pitcher for the Giants, throws a baseball faster than 90 miles per hour. So let's just say velocity or speed. Let's go with velocity, V. So his fastball's velocity is faster than 90 miles per hour. So faster than means greater than in this context. So velocity is greater than 90 miles per hour. Two more, and then we'll call it a day. So I gave this example, the speed limit, okay, in two separate contexts. So if you see this symbol, this sign on the road, speed limit 25 miles per hour. In other words, you are allowed to go no more than 25 miles per hour in a residential area. Go back to your table. What does no more than mean? It means less than or equal to. So if I go 24 miles per hour, awesome. If I go 23 miles per hour, awesome. 15 miles per hour even, awesome. 20. Is 25 miles per hour okay if it's no more than 25 miles per hour? Yes, in fact, you reach that limit. That is the limit. You can't go any higher than that. It's not allowed. So if I have velocity, speed, let's use S. S for speed is less than or equal to 25 miles per hour. That means that S is allowed to be any number 25 or below. 26 miles per hour, you're gonna tick. No, I'm just kidding. There's typically some flexibility, but you shouldn't go higher than 25 miles per hour in a residential area. Okay? Now, on the contrary, you will get a ticket if you exceed 25 miles per hour. So what does exceed mean? It means go higher than. So if you're going faster than 25 miles per hour, you're going to get a ticket. So S is greater than 25. Now, obviously, I don't want anybody to panic. I'm sure some of you guys some of your parents or guardians or grandparents or aunts and uncles, they go maybe like 5 or 10 miles per hour higher than the speed limit. The police aren't so nitpicky that if you go 26 miles per hour, you're going to get a ticket. I just wanted to give you guys a real life context. So if you are going faster than 25 miles per hour, you are exceeding the speed limit. So if your speed is higher than 25 miles per hour, slow down. That's just a kind suggestion. So those are two ways of looking at the exact same situation. Hope this helped. We're going to be solving for X. We're going to be solving for X when the statement is an inequality. Have a good day.